Chapter 689. Commander, a guest has arrived. A guest? Who could it be? This was right after the literal destruction of the betting arena. Those who would visit had already frequented the southern branch of the cavalry, marking their presence. Among them were prominent figures, the head of Charloin security, the haughty servant sent by the Lord of Charloin, those who protested for the release of gamblers caught on sight. Especially noisy were the representatives from the families of these VIPs. Countless others had knocked, seeking an audience with Commander Kishir Lahore, who had suddenly appeared. However, most were turned away under the pretext that the commander was exhausted after a big task. It was frustrating, but what could be done? They couldn't afford to offend him, especially when their weaknesses were now in his grasp. This tactic had been effectively used by Kishir previously at the illegal auction in Tenu in the west, quieting the protesting nobles. It seemed even more effective now. I guess they saw what happened to Baron Wilhelm of Tenu. One wrong move and they would end up utterly destroyed just like him. Baron Wilhelm, once the Lord of Tenu, had faced utter ruin. Despite his long service to the Duke of Tenu, he was abandoned in his most desperate hour. Either knew that Wilhelm had been stripped of his title, noble rights, and his properties confiscated. He faced 15 years of imprisonment, 30 years of forced labor, and a fine of 3 million gold coins. With no other way to reduce his sentence, Wilhelm turned to implicate others, including his brother, family, surrounding nobles, and the Duke of Tane. Such actions were disgraceful for most nobles, but Wilhelm was cunningly persuaded by the first and second children of Tane, Ruel and Priscilla. They will promise a lighter sentence and his family's safety in exchange for a definitive end to their father. Not a bad strategy, beneficial for both Thane and the Emperor as well as us. Despite his wild life, Wilhelm hoped for his daughter's safety. Hence, their trial was still ongoing. Initially, the entire nation was abuzz with a noble duke, one of the 4 ducal families, being on trial before a judge. However, as the situation evolved, it was perceived as an internal power struggle within the Tane family. If the emperor and the cavalry were seen attacking the Tane family, the nobility would resist. But if it seemed like an internal dispute gone awry, the story changed. The longer the trial dragged on, the more the public would lose interest. This would give Priscilla, the heir, time to solidify her support. When the time was right, the Duke of Tane would face severe punishment without anyone to defend him. This was the outcome of a political agreement between Pruel, Priscilla, Emperor Kalusa, and Commander Kishir. The trial might take months or years, but the wait was worth ensuring their victory. But ordinary nobles would not know so much. In the minds of the nobles of Charloin, only Baron Wilhelm, who had met his downfall at the hands of the cavalry, would have left a lasting impression. So, the more they have to hide, the more likely they are to turn back when they hear from Kishir that he is tired. The fact that they sent a notification of a guest's arrival means the other side didn't care about it. Even though I sent word that I was too tired to see anyone, they still wish to see me? The Kishir by either side asked with a look that shared the same thought. A response came from beyond the door, breaking the brief silence. Yes, they insist on seeing you right now. What's their name? They said they couldn't tell us, only that you would know them if I mentioned the owner of the Dawn. Kishir's eyes sparkled briefly upon hearing these somewhat cryptic words. It must be someone from the house of Honey. The house of Honey, you say? Why, just as the question was about to be asked, the answer dawned. The house of Honey is a family of Her Majesty the Empress. The Empress Palace is known as the Dawn Palace, so that's why they use that term. Let them in. Understood? Wow, the audacity. He called the owner of the Dawn, like owner of the Empress. I remember the Empress was also kind of like a distant relative of this house Honey. They kind of adopted her and sent to the palace. And Kishir, Kalusa, and the Empress were kind of childhood friends. I like the Empress, but I don't think I will like the Herney family. Kishi straightened up from leaning on Yudhir's shoulder while Yudhir himself stood up and moved a step back to his rightful place behind the man. Kishir clicked his tongue in apparent disappointment. I thought I might get a little rest, but it seems there is no time for that. Could it be someone from the Herney family? Did the Lord of Charloin summon them? Although the Lord here is of the Herney family's collateral line, I doubt that's the case. Why do you say that? Because they mentioned the owner of the Dawn. As Kishir spoke, the door opened and a person entered. Removing their luxurious traveler's robe, platinum blonde hair, nearly identical to the Empress's, cascaded down. At first glance, the lady appeared nobly raised. Her strong features could intimidate the viewer, yet the freckles around her eyes and lips softened the harshness. The riding outfit she wore under her robe suited her perfectly. Yudha recognized her immediately upon her arrival. Myra El Herney. Yudha had seen her in his previous life. She was the candidate for Empress from the Herney family proposed to Emperor Kachyan. Emperor Kachyan, an adopted son, had ascended to the throne unusually quickly after only a few years as a crown prince, becoming emperor without having had an empress to be. Of course, there were whispers during his time as crown prince, but Emperor Kelusa's early demise reset everything to a blank slate. The four great ducal houses fiercely contested who would sit beside the emperor. The Diarca family naturally proposed someone from their line, while the other three houses openly criticized Diarca's excessive greed and nominated their own candidates. Among them, the Herney family boldly proposed a direct descendant with clear logic. The previous empress was not truly our making. Herney suffered greatly due to her extravagance and various incidents, and we have struggled to cope ever since, so it's only right to give us another chance. Did they just call the empress extravagant? All I remember is empress wearing all simple and plain clothes, and she is just tending to a freaking garden. These Herney family, okay, I hate them. No wonder they never cared for her after Kelusa and Kishe died, and she also died. Technically she was healthy, right? Why was she dead? Oh, come on. Despite various events, it seemed Diarca eventually stepped back, allowing Myra El Herney to become the empress. Naturally, her marriage to the emperor was anything but smooth. For reasons unknown, Emperor Kachyan had suffered wounds on the night of his wedding in the empress's palace, similar to those of claw marks. Hushed rumors circulated the palace, suggesting a physical altercation between the two. Therefore, he never visited the empress's palace again. Whenever advised to produce an heir, he would erupt in anger, accusing the advisor of harboring treasonous intentions due to his youth. The house of Herney was displeased, but the house of Diarca and other families were quite satisfied. This situation allowed them to propose their own candidates for the position of concubine or legal wife. After Emperor Kachyan began to cunningly assassinate or manipulate the power holders of other families, including the house of Diarca, Empress Myra's situation worsened. Since she was out of favor with the emperor and virtually exiled, no one dared to visit her. The empress's palace was always famously quiet, as if empty. No one knew how she lived there. Yudhir too had almost never seen her until his death. I never expected to see her here again. To be honest, until just moments ago, he had nearly forgotten her name. But upon seeing her face, the memories of her from the wedding resurfaced vividly. Kishir, noticing Yudhir's subtly furrowed brow and blinking, glanced at him discreetly yet keenly before turning his head with a smile. Well, this is a surprise. Such an illustrious guest had graced us with their presence. You must have known I would come, yet you just so well. Myra El Herney retorted coldly. Okay, let's see if she's good or bad.